我们这位讲者呢，因为台风的关系，他的飞机没有办法来到台湾哈，但是他非常用心哈。我先不爆雷，待会你看到他的影片就知道他有多用心哈。他非常用心的在他的办公室里，昨天拍了一段影片，把他整个演讲的内容拍下来了。而且待会大家注意哦，他还是双机哦，这是拍 MV 的，你可以看到双机的影片哈。所以待会的25分钟，我们先看这段影片，跟大家分享。然后我们荧幕的一边会是影片，荧幕的另外一边会是他的 PowerPoint， 所以大家的经验是完全没有打折的。好，然后最精彩的是哈，他虽然人不在这里，他很有心的想要跟各位交流，所以待会在25分钟的影片结束之后呢，我们会邀请现场的朋友，然后用麦克风来跟他问问题。好，我们把这时间全部保留给各位哈。那大家就不要客气啊，我知道我们这种环境一开始大家都不愿意发言哈，但各位想想看你花了多少钱才坐到这里。好，所以待会请抓住麦克风，借由麦克风跟他交谈，他会听到你的声音，你会听到他的声音。我们希望，虽然我们没有办法面对面的接触，也能够互相沟通一下。好，所以规则解释完了之后，我就来介绍一下这家公司，这是东南亚最大的一个时尚电商的平台。叫 ZALORA 啊，大家在书面资料上都可以看到的名字。2012年 Rocket Internet 在新加坡成立哈，短短的4年多时间，已经渗透到亚洲的8个国家啊。然后它在去年第4季哈。今年数字还没出来，去年第4季哈，它已经有300个 million 的交易量哈，大家可以看看这个成长是多么进步。目前的估值已经到了10亿美金左右，应该是我们每个人心中的目标吧哈。这个独角兽怎么做到了？我们待会就请他透过 video 来跟我们分享。那过程中也邀请各位把你的问题记下来，待会千万不要客气哈。待会大家可以看到他是一个型男哈，他的名字叫 Giulio Xiloyannis， 好，我们接下来就透过影片来分享 ZALORA 成功的故事。虽然他不在现场，我邀请大家还是我们掌声一起来欢迎他，好吗？我们掌声来，接下来这段演讲，我们请看我们的影片。
Ladies and gentlemen, well, let me kick off by apologizing. I've let you down today. I was not able to catch my flight. The typhoon, the weather, something we can't control yet. Went to the airport around 7 a.m., but the 10 a.m. flight was already postponed to 5, and then with notices of possible postponement into the night and so on. I opted for not flying over, and thankfully my ZALORA team standing behind the cameras are giving me a hand in filming this presentation for you and being able to still give you, hopefully, the experience you wanted to get today. Well, first of all, let me start by, after the apologies, start by thanking a bit. I wanted to thank AppWorks, the Taipei City Hall, and Global Views for attempting to have me here today, to have me there with you today. I'm going to talk today about how ZALORA's strategy as a whole. So how we, in the past 5 years, tried to bring and did our best to bring international fashion to Southeast Asian, Hong Kong and Taiwanese consumers, but with a local approach to it and a local experience to it. So how we tried to make international fashion accessible in a local way through a local experience. I'm going on to slide 2, to our first index slide, and the first, I'm going to go through at first who we are, what ZALORA is, what is the global fashion group. Then I'm going to take you a bit through what is this international fashion that we're talking about, so what is the offer on ZALORA. Moving from there, I'm then going to go and talk about that local experience, and in particular, what it is that ZALORA strives to do and keeps doing, because we're not perfect, we're absolutely not perfect, to provide that local experience and working and buying international fashion as if you were purchasing from a local website. Last but not least, we'll go through a couple of conclusions about why we think this strategy is working out for us and about what is it bringing in terms of hard numbers, at least the hard numbers that we can release. Okay, so what is Global Fashion Group? Global Fashion Group is a holding group of fashion e-commerce companies across 3 continents, set up a couple of years ago through the union, the merger of a series of companies, amongst which ZALORA Dafici, our partners and cousins in South America, the Iconic in Australia, La Mode in Russia, and Namshi in the Middle East. All in all, we cover more than 25 countries across the world, providing international fashion in a localized way to customers across South America, the Middle East, Russia, Oceania, and Southeast Asia, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. Let's slide on to slide number 4. What does ZALORA do within this context? ZALORA covers in particular what you could call 6 websites across Southeast Asia, Hong Kong, and Taiwan, which would serve customers across 8 countries. So we would have Hong Kong. The Hong Kong website covers Macau and Hong Kong. The Taiwanese website, recently set up around a year ago. Our Indonesian website, Philippines website, Malaysia, which also covers the city-state of Brunei. And finally, our Singaporean website. Across these countries, we've been working at different lengths of time. Our Singaporean and Malaysian websites were founded in early 2012, while our Taiwanese one was reopened only in the second half of 2015. Whatever the timelines, the customer base we have built is now superior to 9 million customers across Southeast Asia, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. We have around 33 million visitors per month on our website, with peaks naturally in Indonesia and Philippines. And we're very active also on social media, trying to approach our fans in a localized way, with 4.5 and growing million followers on Facebook and just above 500,000 on Instagram. That's ZALORA. Let's go now into that international offer that we were talking about. We're on slide number 6. So what is the ZALORA inventory? ZALORA makes it its objective to split its inventory under 3 different strategies. The first one would be what we call the private label or in-house brand strategies. These are our brands typically under the ZALORA brand name or the Zalia brand name when it goes to Muslim wear, representing a big part of our assortment, mostly designed in Singapore, and very big part of our strategy to, let's say, consolidate our brand name, not just as retailers, but also as a fashion drivers ourselves. What's the second component? The second component is the local brands component. Local brands in Southeast Asia have a huge potential. May these be Muslim wear brands in Indonesia or Taiwanese pure e-commerce brands that developed in the last couple of years out of Taiwan. This is a smaller component of our strategy, but it's there, and we keep nurturing it, in particular recently with our approach to South Korea. Then there's the international brands component. So this is the core of the strategy. This is where we believe we offer an added value to our customers, where we believe that we bring something that other websites don't offer. And that is brands that are sometimes even exclusive offline and online to Southeast Asia, with a localized approach to the way the customer experiences everything from payment all the way to returning the item in case a return is needed. The current assortment is above 2,000 brands across our 6 countries and growing. Let's take a quick look into what this international brands and exclusivity means for the Taiwanese market and go on to slide 7. So, the Taiwanese market. I mean, we've only entered Taiwan around a year ago, and getting brand approvals for the whole market takes time. Brands work on multi-season timelines where getting simply the approval to open an extra country is a long process. This said, we're having wonderful achievements in Taiwan so far, and in particular we've managed to bring to the market a number of brands which are exclusive to it online and offline. Now it might be able again to get these brands for the customer from an international website, but never with a localized experience or with localized payment services or other components that we'll see later on. I wanted to take 2 groups as an example today. On the left of the slide you can see the Style Nanda, Mong and 9. So the group of brands revolving around the Korean selection of ZALORA. And then on the right-hand side, the group of brands revolving around our UK buying team. So all of these brands, Topshop, Topman, River Island, Ivy Park, one could mention New Look, one could mention Dorothy Perkins, Burton Menswear, etc. But also brands such as Juicy Judy, Emong, Stylnanda, Nine are exclusively offered to the Taiwanese consumer from ZALORA. No way to get them offline, no other way to get them online with a localized offer. Now, why are we different than, say, ASOS.com that offers Stylnanda with shipping from the UK? Let's go into that experience part and skip through the appendix slide and directly into our customer experience section of the presentation. So this is a first big summary of what we believe is our localized approach. But basically what I think it is, it's 6 components to it. First and foremost, the content. So what do you see when you land on the website? Is the website localized? Is the language localized? Second, is that experience seamless no matter where you connect from? Is our app light enough for a connection out of an island in the Philippines? Third, delivery. We deliver, and we strive to deliver faster everywhere and with cash on delivery everywhere in Southeast Asia. Then, payment. Payment is a big component. If you want to buy from an international website, pretty much credit card is the only option on the table. It's an option that is on the table for ZALORA too, but we strongly believe that cash still is a driver of e-commerce, and particularly a driver of e-commerce for rural areas. We want to serve the whole of Southeast Asia, not just the main towns. And secondly, there are often localized payment providers to which people are used to and that need to be adopted by somebody that wants to give a local experience. Fifth and sixth elements would be customer service. Are you speaking to somebody that's speaking your own language? Is that phone call free and not an international phone call that you have to pay for? Is that service quick? Is it high quality, etc., etc.? And then our return and refund process. This is something that where we've dropped the ball, and I'm sure you've seen some news in Taiwan recently about our refund process not being perfect. Offering cash on delivery across international markets means that refunding is a complex matter, but thankfully our customers and the Taipei City Hall brought the matter to our attention, so we're now working on fixing the process in Taiwan as well. But the main component is all of our customers have 30-day free returns across all of Southeast Asia. They can pick up, they can drop off their items at the post office, they can drop them off in convenience store, or they can ask for a pickup. All 3 methods are free. And we will refund cash transaction as well as credit card transaction, as well as bank transfer transaction in cash if the customer requests us to. So first and foremost, we talked about languages, we talked about localizing the websites. So let's take a look at our websites. We have 6 websites across Southeast Asia. But once you split it across, the multiples of country underscore language that we have to offer, then you'll find more than 9 websites because quite a few of our countries have double language interfaces, and in every country we do segment the campaigns according to local requirements. There's a typhoon today in Taiwan, and customers are mostly at home and not working, so we have to tailor our offer to the market and provide a special offer for the increased traffic on the website. So there's probably typhoon or special discount campaigns going on right now while I'm filming this. What does this mean? It means that we need a customer service team able to speak 6 different languages, the 6 different languages being Mandarin, Cantonese, Tagalog, Bahasa Melayu, Bahasa Indonesia, and English. And we need to split these across different peaks in different countries in terms of order volumes and call volumes. It means that we're not handling and adapting one website or one app. We're handling and adapting 9 interfaces for the website and 9 interfaces for the app. So a total of 18 interfaces across different countries. It's quite a bit of complexity, but I believe it really gives that added value, and it really puts us in a position to capture not just the top class in society and the high-level income living in the main capitals, but also the rural areas, and give access to fashion and international fashion to everybody in Southeast Asia, Hong Kong and Taiwan. Let's slide on and take a look instead of at our payment providing services. I'm going to fly through this. It's pretty obvious to me. International websites offer credit cards. Sometimes they offer PayPal. ZALORA offers cash on delivery everywhere and refunds in cash everywhere, so through bank transfer. It offers credit card everywhere. It offers PayPal everywhere. But in addition to that, it offers a series of services which might be more localized. So for example, in Malaysia, we offer installments because the market is used to installments through a local bank called Maybank, or we offer automatic bank transfers online through a local provider quite established in the market called iPay88. And so it goes across the different countries. We're also considering working with new providers and more innovative solutions. May this be an integration of Apple Pay with our apps. May this be an integration of Line Pay with our apps. May this be you starting to work with Union Pay out of Hong Kong. Or why not, even again in Hong Kong with the local points and subway provider, Octopus Card. You can understand how this expands massively the potential customer base that we're offering to, and the angle of the offer towards localizing international brands. Last mile delivery. So last mile delivery is a big topic. Typically, international websites will ship directly to your doorstep. They might or might not take care of customs clearance costs, but it will pretty much be a courier, typical courier, DHL, FedEx shipment internationally. Now, the reality is the local approach can be slightly different. In many countries, and Taiwan is one of these, customers prefer to pick up their items, typically prefer, from a convenience store, deciding when to undertake that service and when to pay cash, especially if it's a cash on delivery drop-off. And not necessarily get it at their office or at their house where they have to wait for the delivery guy. In a lot of countries in Southeast Asia, Taiwan and Hong Kong being an exception because more developed from an infrastructural perspective, delivery companies and 3PL companies cannot yet manage peaks in orders. So imagine an 11/11, so a Singles Day or a Christmas campaign or a Chinese New Year campaign or a Ramadan campaign in Indonesia. Your orders from an international website would be heavily delayed because the local infrastructure is not up to speed with the peak in volumes. What we've developed at the same time, not just offering convenience store and trackable orders to everybody and cash on delivery to everybody, but we've also delivered our own fleets. We now have more than 350 and growing riders across our countries, in particular in Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore, where we manage the peaks in orders and in volumes to make sure that the customer always gets its order on time and that we have a 95% successful delivery rate. Let's skip on to the next slide for what regards customer experience. As I was mentioning earlier on, the same attention goes to the reverse logistics channel. So it's not just about getting your item, it's about having the confidence to return it and the ease of returning it. If the size doesn't fit, if we got something wrong, we hope we didn't, but it might happen. And that confidence comes not through having to pay for returns. So first of all, returns should always be free. Returns should be no question asked. And returns should be convenient. You shouldn't necessarily have to go and get in line for hours at the local post office. You shouldn't have to wait for a pickup that not necessarily always happens. You should have the option of selecting between these. So let's take the case of Taiwan. In Taiwan, we started by doing pickups. And then now we moved fully between a choice of pickup versus dropping off at convenience stores, where we're expanding more and more the net of convenience stores that would cover this service for us. Returns are always free. Every payment method had its own refund system. We typically, by default, will refund to our e-wallet, so we have an e-wallet system on the website. But all it takes is a quick phone call or even an email sent to our customer service team, and we will convert that wallet into cash. It will be a bank transfer if you paid by cash. It will be a reaccrual to your credit card if you paid by credit card, so on and so forth. Last but not least, there's a marketing and retention angle to this. When shopping locally, you usually have a number of advantages which are different from shopping internationally. These advantages might be tied to local point system, to local rewards companies, or they might be tied to your credit cards, which are becoming, a mixture of payment and reward companies as we go. that's why we strive to partner with local banks, with the local offices of international banks, and with local reward companies. So in Taiwan, the example would be we're talking to the airlines, like in Malaysia, where we've launched partnerships with both AirAsia and Malaysia and enriched the Malaysia Airlines program. We're partnering with the local company, point card company, Happy Go. But we're also partnering with local banks, such as Qatar United Bank, to provide discounts on your credit card purchases, or with Citibank. In Malaysia, we'll be partnering with Maybank or CIMB. This is something that we strive to do across all the countries. It solidifies our position on the ground. We get to know the local partners that we're working with from a payment standpoint and from a reward standpoint, but also we ensure that customer loyalty and that added value to each purchase, which an international player would not be able to bring to the table. We're now moving to the conclusion and the results part of the presentation, so we're closing this. Again, I'm sure this would have probably been boring with me there in person. It certainly is with me on a screen and with little chance of interaction between myself and you guys. But anyways, let me try and summarize what we've said so far. What ZALORA's tried to do is, okay, we wanted to do fashion. We wanted to bring the entire spectrum of fashion, of course in a tailored and curated selection, but looking both at the real high potential local players. May this be the Tokyo Fashion Group in Taipei, may this be Style Nanda out of Korea, or may this be Rizalman, a Malaysian designer working on traditional Muslim clothing. But at the same time, we want to offer international brands. May this be us offering brands like Fossil, Ray-Ban, Levi's, Nike, Mango, which are already available on the ground, or offering brands such as Style Nanda, Nine, Dorothy Perkins, Topshop, which are not yet available on the ground. This said, once you had, okay, we have an inventory which is wider than the local e-commerce players. So shop blogs for what regards the more, let's say, fragmented market in some of our countries, or local fashion e-commerce players, sometimes very strong ones like the Taiwanese brands, may this be Pazzo or again the Tokyo Fashion Group. What we do is we try to have a wider selection. We have our own private label, which is what some local players do. We have the local brands, which is what the general merchandise players do. We have the international brand, which is what the global players do, with a tailored local selection, by the way, because having local buyers is different from having buyers in London. But we offer the whole with the service and the level of service that a local player would bring, the level of talent that an international player would be able to hire, and the, let's say, scale of a big general merchandise level player. Hence, again, I believe, we found a gap, we found our position. That position is to have a offer which combines the international one and the local one, and then a experience which is superior to the international one and aligned to the local one. All creating a scale which gives us an advantage towards local players, towards international players, and towards the general merchandise players. This said, it's not all about competition. There's a lot of partnership going on. We tend to see, in particular, the local players as partners more than competitors. When somebody is developing its own brand, may this be, again, I'm mentioning the same brands, but it can be Poplook, which is a brand, poplook.com, which is a website in Malaysia. It might be the Tokyo Fashion Group with its websites in Taiwan. It may be Pazzo with its websites in Taiwan. For us, these are partners. For us, these are brands that we would love to have on board on ZALORA, creating a win-win relationship. And we find that we can create this win-win relationship. We find that brands do work with us. Another one that recently has started working with us is the icecream.com.tw brand. And we find that there is an advantage to both of us having that inventory. This doesn't just happen with local fashion e-commerces, it happens with the brands. Nike has its own website, Levi's has its own website, Topshop has its own website. They still choose to work with us. So when it comes to pure fashion players, may these be online or offline or a combination of the two, we see them as partners. And we believe that our local offering and our local experience and international offering is a win-win for them as well to come and work with us. Let's move and just close the presentation with a few numbers. The 2016 numbers have not been released yet. Rocket Internet released its numbers a few weeks ago, actually more recently, around the 22nd of September. It gave an overview of how the Iconic and ZALORA was doing, but it was a combined view. I cannot split that view for you because of insider trading concerns and sensible information from our listed investors. But I can give you a bit of an idea of how this journey has gone until the end of 2015. It's quite simple. We have the slide in front of us. We started reporting in the first quarter of 2013. Our data, disclosed data, goes up to the last quarter of 2015. And we've moved from less than 500,000 items per quarter, up to now making 1 million items, sorry, not now, a year ago, making 1 million items per month. This progression is still there. We still see strong growth. We are focusing on the price point we sell as much as the volumes we sell, but we can say that we are becoming a real provider of fashion in Southeast Asia. 1 million pieces are shipped, are now kept, because these numbers are after cancellations, rejections, and returns. So 1 million pieces are kept by our customers. Even more than those are tried on by our customers because of the returns that come back to us. And we do believe that we're changing, particularly for the less accessible areas of Asia Pacific, the access and the possibility of buying fashion. Thinking about Topshop in Taiwan isn't anymore about going to London or waiting for a shipment for London and being able to pay credit card and having to pay if you return and having to wait a long time if you return. It's as fast as getting your item in a couple of days and having free shipping and free returns on it and being able to pay in whatever way is most convenient to you. If we manage to get the connection going, I'll be talking to you in the phone in a couple of minutes and taking your questions and hopefully providing some answers. Thank you.
好，现在Giulio 已经在线上了哈，所以我可不可以邀请大家掌声鼓励一下，让他听得到 ？Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Giulio Xiloyannis。好。刚才Giulio用很短的时间内讲了3个重点啊，非常有启发性。首先，他当然介绍一下这个母公司 Global Fashion Group 啊，它是由南美、中东还有俄罗斯的几家公司并购起来，成为一个大的集团。接下来2点就非常精彩了，他们公司很奇妙地把 international 跟 localization 这2个似乎是表面矛盾的事情结合在一起。好 ，international 我们刚才可以看到，它在亚洲这8个国家哈能够 offer exclusive 的 offer。也就是一些国际的品牌，像 Topshop 这边，它强调 exclusive， 代表说在这些市场之中，其实你没有办法在当地的实体店面买到这些东西，你只有在 ZALORA 这方面哈，这已经是一个很大的成就了哈。但是在同时呢，它能够做到非常的 localization 哈。刚才 Giulio 很清楚的把消费者购买旅程的6个阶段说出来，而且在每一个阶段，大家都可以看到，它可以做到非常个人化。从一开始的 content， 你上了它的网站之后，它当然是中国的文字哈，你可以感觉到就像一个中文网站一样，好，然后到它的 experience 就是这个跨荧幕的这个消费者体验哈，包括某些国家有些大家都用手机的话，它的 mobile 的界面就会做得特别好。到第3点就是 delivery， 就是送货哈，所以他们甚至严格管控自己的送货过程，包括它有300个这个骑机车送货的运送团队哈，这也是很特别的一个电商的策略哈。到第4个阶段就是要付费哈，某些国家也许特别要用现金来支付，某些国家有别的支付系统哈，那他们也都非常的 localize 哈。那到了第5点就是service 就是服务，大家可以看到他们在不同国家有各种不同语言的服务，而且这服务不只是回答你的问题而已，它还跟当地的一些伙伴合作，比如说像台湾，你在它上面买东西，你可以集点你的 Happy Go， 啊，这个是非常彻底的服务，然后 最后一点就是 return 哈，如果你不满意的话，你可以 return 啊，它 return 方法也很多元，你可以到 7-Eleven 去还啦，或者说它在某些国家当地有这个 locker 就有置物柜，可以让你把东西放进去。所以你看这6个阶段，它都能做到 localization， 这非常不简单的一点哈。好，重点是接下来要跟大家交流哈。我们的工作人员现在Giulio 已经上线了吗？Giulio 正在播，那现场的大家就不要客气，我们旁边有麦克风，如果愿意发言的朋友，要不要就到麦克风前来哈？好，如果没有的话，等一下，我看到一个朋友啊，刚才这个 video 做的是不是很有 TED 的水准啊？好，而且是1天就做出来了哈，不晓得是不是跟许玉仁先生请教的哈？我们许委员也在现场，啊，站起来跟大家挥挥手好不好？好 ，Jason， 谢谢你哈。谢谢你。好，我们有3位委员今天百忙之中前来感恩。啊？他已经连接上了，好，所以我们在座的不要客气哈。好，那如果没有的话，我先点一位好不好？因为这个是一个 fashion 嘛，哈，我知道现场有一个非常 fashion 的人哈，那个 Avida 的朱平先生在吗？朱平先生在哪里？我每次看到他我都非常自卑，你看他多有型哈。各位，我也有那种白衬衫，那是我300块在夜市买的，他那一件可能3万块。好，Ping 愿不愿意先跟Giulio互动一下？好，我听不清楚你的话，你跟我一起来。来 ，Ping 愿不愿意到前面来？好，好，我们掌声先欢迎我们朱平董事长，好不好？好，抛砖引玉为我们问出第一个问题哈。那 Ping 你就用我的麦克风好了，因为我的麦克风收音比较准确一点。好，来。
Hi, where's the video? Over there. Hi, Giulio.
Hello, Tom. Is that you?
Now, this is Ping. One of the audience here want to pose a question
hello.
for you. A greeting from Taiwan. Hello?
Thank you, and I apologize again for not being there. And can the whole audience hear me right now?
Yes.
Yeah, so just let me, again, apologize for not being there right now. Yesterday, the flights were nearly all blocked coming from KL. And also, I wanted to express my deepest condolences to the entire country for the losses that you had yesterday across the country.
Yeah, I think everyone's here has recognized the honest effort that you try to reach to us. And you have an excellent video presentation. And we just I just want to ask you one question.
Please go ahead.
What do you think about the social network like Facebook and Instagram? They're going to carve into this fashion marketplace with individual boutique designer and have their own little site, but they do have a very strong emotional connect with their fans group. How do you handle this kind of blossom individual website that use the social network?
Okay, thanks for the question. We've seen this happen already in the past. So when it comes to social media selling fashion online, I think the stage 1 of it was the so-called Facebook stores. Now, Facebook stores was something that, don't ask me why, but for some reason were particularly strong between 2011 and 2013 in Malaysia and Indonesia in particular. And for some reason, there was a very strong adoption by the Muslim fashion community of the use of small Facebook stores. This said, this seems a lot like, so at the time, it was very long tail e-commerce, meaning what was happening there was more of a C2C environment than a B2C one. So not so much of a threat to a B2C branded player such as ZALORA, more of a threat to players such as Shopee or to players such as Carousel, which operate more on the C2C environment and more in the second-hand goods environment, because that's also a lot of what we saw on social media. This said, this was generation 1. We're starting to now see generation 2. And generation 2 is coming more from Instagram than from Facebook. So it's much more visual-driven element happening on Instagram. This said, Instagram's positioning is very different from the Facebook Shops one. So the Facebook Shop was a kind of small, individual, fully 360-degree shop. So you could actually purchase through either a private message or even there were some payment solutions there.
Yes.
Instagram is doing something that leads a lot more into the affiliate space. Meaning what I see Instagram becoming a big competitor of is not the end retailer. So ZALORA positions itself as the end retailer. What I see them becoming much more a threat is to companies such as, I don't know, Lyst in the UK, in the US. Have you heard about Lyst? Lyst?
Yes.
Or companies that do pure fashion affiliation, so that lead the traffic through images to the retailer. I've also seen Instagram recently here in Malaysia. I worked with some of the incubators here in Kuala Lumpur. And one of the companies that I mentor actually has created a small plugin for Instagram, whereby by commenting the pictures on an account, you can actually place an order on the back end of the website that holds that account. So even direct integrations between the retailers, so the e-retailers, and their Instagram accounts. So again, I think Facebook and in general, all of Zuckerberg's strategies rarely lead in the direction of destroying the ecosystem. They usually work in the direction of empowering the ecosystem. And what I'm seeing with Instagram is most probably in the future our biggest source of traffic. Facebook already is that.
Yes.
I see that turning even more into Instagram, and probably even traffic that is not traffic but simply purchase at some point, when you will be able to purchase directly from my Instagram account rather than from the ZALORA website.
Yeah, I think you just nailed my questions. The second one is you're talking about a local brand as your. Okay, I just asked someone. Okay, thank you very much.
好，我们掌
Thank you,
声
thank
谢
you for the
谢朱董事长为我们抛砖引玉啊！哇，第一个问题就这么深入了，很令人兴奋啊！这个问题是 social media， 像 Facebook 和 Instagram 怎么会影响电商啊？这个很有趣啊，就是说像 ZALORA 他们这种公司本来是破坏性创新啊，颠覆了别人，现在有别人要来颠覆他们哈。但他刚才讲的是 Facebook 对他们的影响比较小，比较是影响 C to C 的产业，像虾皮哈。虾皮的讲者下午会跟我们分享，我们到时候再说哈。倒是 Instagram 因为是一个视觉为导向的 social media 会产生比较大的威胁哈，比如说像 Instagram 已经对一些网络的电商，像 EYST 哈，这个比较文青的一个电商产生了影响哈。好，谢谢朱平先生跟刚才 Guido 的互动。好，我们有一位先生站在现场，对不对？好，那我把时间交给您。好，请这位是John， 好，这样请。
Hello, Giulio. This is Jonathan from Team Group. I'm in charge of EC operations in my company. And in your presentation, first of all, thank you for the wonderful presentation. And in your presentation, you focus a lot on localization and services. One of the harshest thing about fashion industry is some people in Taiwan, they still, they like to touch the fabric. They wanted to try on the clothes. And so is with many ECs. That seems to be a tough break they had to break through. So many people think of the O2O like a demo shop at the airport or kind of a segue, a hyper center to kind of break that issue. Is an O2O solution something that you're thinking in terms of Taiwan or even if you're, in your global strategy? Can you share that with us? Thank you.
好棒的问题，谢谢你这样。Guido, go ahead.
Shall I go ahead?
No, you go ahead.
Thank you, Jonathan, for the question. Glad to talk to you. The O2O strategy. Now, I hear you when you say Taiwanese people want to touch and feel. And actually, I feel you a lot more because I can tell you, Taiwan has a 25% nearly e-commerce penetration over retail. So this touch and feel barrier is actually much smaller than what we have in countries like Malaysia or Philippines that have a 2%, 2.5% e-commerce penetration. So we have faced this barrier in the past 4 years a bit everywhere. And I also had the opportunity when I was back in Rocket Internet in Europe to work with the Zalando team when they were rolling out Zalando in Italy. Zalando is a very big, the biggest e-tailer for fashion in the world at the moment. So, okay, let's take a step back. So ZALORA did set up a O2O strategy already across various countries. We opened up what we call pop-up stores, where people can touch and feel our product, but they cannot buy it, so they cannot walk away with the product. They can try it on, but the whole shop is populated by iPads and iMacs, where they can then actually purchase and complete their transaction. So it's a real experience driver for the customer. What did we put in these offline pop-up stores? We put into these stores our own private label, and then all the brands that were exclusive to us in that country. Why? Because the assumption in the end behind our business model is that of we have to convert people to shopping online. As much as we would wish to, we are not a huge offline retailer like Zara, and we will not be able to set up that kind of capacity in number of stores. So what we want is for the people to get to know the brand, but we cannot offer a full offline to online experience in the future. So it's more about, okay, do you want to trust the ZALORA product? Here, you can touch it. This pop-up store will be open for 2 months. You can touch River Island, you can touch Stalnanda, but it will not be something that we will keep doing in the future. We do not plan to invest CapEx in opening a net of retail stores across Southeast Asia, Hong Kong, or Taiwan. And that's the reason why in these stores, we do not put the brands that are already in the country. So if you want to touch and feel a mango, it's full of mango shops across Taiwan. And our concept is more, okay, if you can't find it in the store, or if you live far away from the store, you can buy from ZALORA. Or if, I don't know, or if it's raining outside, you can buy from ZALORA. Or if you don't want to be bothered to go to the store, you can buy from ZALORA. So what is our strategy for Taiwan? Maybe we will open a pop-up store in Taiwan? Yes, maybe we will, Jonathan. We have done it in every other country we have been in. We've opened in the major malls, whereby the traffic is the highest for 2 to 3 months. Do I have an outlined plan with a date in which I will set up this store? No. But we are surely going to get more aggressive in our strategy in Taiwan, even more than we are now, as soon as we manage to bring on board a few more brands on the Taiwanese website. I think Taiwan is still a work in progress. Our website there does not have any sports brands, for example. So we don't have Nike, we don't have Adidas, we don't have Under Armour. We're still working with the Mango team to see how we can work with Mango there. The refund process is not perfect. So once all those things are perfect, yes, most probably as part of our offline marketing strategy, there will be a pop-up store event. But we will not set up a net of offline stores.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Giulio. 好，那工作人员一直提醒我时间的问题，如果很简单讲一下，这个问题是衣服嘛，大家总要摸一摸嘛才买，对不对？它毕竟跟书啊、跟水不一样哈。那他们这一个很实际的做法就是用这个 pop-up store 哈，就是你可以在某一个市场中去，它这个 pop-up store 只开1-2天哦，实际去摸这个衣服哈，但他不让你现场买，为什么？毕竟是一个电商，他希望你回到网络上去买他的东西哈。So Giulio, thank you so much. It's a brief but very inspiring session. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Mr. Xiloyannis. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
guys.
you.
I
Look forward to seeing you in person in Taiwan soon.
Yes. Take care. Thank you.